Now, this year has seen 3 major terror attacks in the UK. Today is also the 12th anniversary of the London bombings in 2005, which was a series of coordinated terrorist suicide attacks targeting the city's public transport system during morning rush hour. So what have we learned from those attacks, and how do we move on from the latest atrocities? Let's go live now to central London and speak to Sajda Mughal. She is a survivor of the 7/7 bombings. She's also now director of the Jan Trust, which is a charity set up to empower and provide leadership for women. And Sajda, it's a pleasure to have you on the programme this afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Remind us what happened to you that day.
That day, 12 years ago, I survived the Piccadilly Tube bombing. In fact, I was running late that morning. Had I got onto the first carriage, I wouldn't be sitting here speaking to you, because Jermaine Lindsay detonated his bomb, and I remember it like it was yesterday. The train literally left King's Cross 10 seconds into the tunnel. The bomb went off and it was a massive explosion and the train shook. Thick black smoke was filling up the carriages to the point that I couldn't breathe. I had to take my blazer off and cover my face. People were injured. I remember still to this day people banging on the doors, the windows, the screams, the panic. And for me, I thought this was it. July the 7th, 2005 is the day that I die. And I was 22 at that time. And I just started to think, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. I haven't said bye to loved ones, because I genuinely thought we were going to die, thinking the next tube will hit us and we'll all be burnt to death. Never would I have thought that it'd be a bomb and carried out by extremists.
Yeah, just truly terrible. We can't imagine being in your situation. And of course, we're 12 years on today. Do anniversaries get any easier to mark?
I would like to say it gets easier, but I have to be honest with you, it doesn't, because still 12 years on, as the anniversary approaches, my other half, my partner, tells me, actually, you're having your flashbacks, you're talking in your sleep. I get my panic attacks, I go through bouts of anxiety. It's still, I mean, whilst we get over the events and these terrorist attacks, we will never forget. And that's exactly what happens as the anniversary approaches. I mean, I start to relive the process. Still to this day, I can't travel on the tube system. I find it very hard.
Yeah, we can understand that for sure. And of course, we've had a terrible month, haven't we, in this country? We've had the attacks in Manchester and of course too in London. When you put your TV on or radio on in the morning and you hear that kind of news, how does it affect you?
It affects me in terms of, it takes me right back to 7/7. When I see the news and I see the videos of people screaming, people running away, people stressed, people with emotion, people sad and crying, I relive the experience and I know what they're going through. I mean, I know how families are affected. That day, my mother knew that was my tube and she thought I was dead. She couldn't get through to my mobile phone. And literally, family friends still tell me that she was preparing as if you died. And so it just takes me right back to what happened that day. But it was that set of events in terms of July the 7th, 2005, that changed my life. Why did it change my life? Because having found out it was a bomb and to find out it was carried out by 4 Muslim extremists, I took the decision to make that difference, to work with my community, the Muslim community, to prevent and tackle extremism. And that's exactly what I'm doing today. And
you're doing incredible work. I mean, it's incredible that you've turned your life around and you've dedicated yourself to this very worthy cause. Give us some examples of what you've managed to achieve.
Okay, so I work specifically, and my organisation, Jan Trust, is at the forefront of working with Muslim women, Muslim mothers via our Web Guardians programme, and that educates and empowers women and mothers to prevent extremism and prevent and tackle online radicalisation, because we know the internet is playing a part in terms of radicalising individuals. I wrote a report and published a report on internet extremism. With this report, with this work, I've gone around the UK, worked with women who have now stopped their children and stopped their loved ones from joining extremist groups like Daesh and have prevented them from being radicalised online.
And why women in particular? Why are they so crucial in your work?
they are the first lines of defense. They are the key change makers. They are the ones who tend to spot the first signs of radicalization. Ultimately, no mother wants to lose their child, or no wife wants to lose their husband to extremism or to detonate bombs and blow themselves up and kill innocent civilians. And so it's very important to work with women, to work with mothers. And I can tell you firsthand the difference, and hopefully I've been able to express that in terms of the difference it makes. And so it's very, very important. What I can tell you is that it's very important for this grassroots work to continue.
Yeah, and we hope you do continue your great work. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Sajda Mughal, Director of the Jan Trust.